Ladies and gentlemen, a very special night tonight and a very special guest. We're looking at JonExArmy. Now, I don't know very much about this gentleman, but in the short time we've had some discussion, we're very like-minded. It's as if he's a brother from another mother. And tonight we're going to discuss some very groundbreaking topics. And the one we're going to be discussing is the awakening moment, the actual spiritual awakening that people go through when they actually become woke. And a lot of people think what we're about to talk about is totally hokey. I know I did. I'm sure John did. And all of us, thousands of us that have experienced this in our lifetime, we don't think it's hokey anymore. And in fact, what it did is it catapulted us into a new reality where the possibility is endless. We have so much to do and no time to do it. It's almost limitless. Whereas the lives we were living before were this hellish, compartmentalized nightmare of fear porn and death and destruction and hell that we thought we were stuck in. But we're not stuck in that anymore, are we, John X? Welcome to the show. How the heck are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
So let's walk.
So, man, you just got me so hyped.
Let's walk the listeners through real quick.
Yeah.
Let's just tell them who you are and where you came from before we get to the shift.
Yeah. I'm JonExArmy. I spent a lot of time in prison, a lot of time in the military. And through all that, I remained a good soul. I kept my soul, a good person, a good father. Well, obviously, in prison, I wasn't a good father. But I came home. I started a YouTube channel, JonExArmy, and it was about conspiracy theories. It was trying to figure out the answers to all the questions I've had my whole life, figure out who's running the world, figure out why it seems like they're destroying it, unlocking all these evil, dark secrets of humanity. That was my goal, and I made it my job.
I muted myself, so I'm trying to get my picture up here. It's so difficult. You know how all this is difficult to do. So John, you have a YouTube channel. It used to be JonExArmy, but now it has a new name. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm digging the name. It just had to not be JonExArmy anymore. I've been reborn. That person is dead. That JonExArmy character is no more.
So let's walk me through it. You and I have similar paths. We thought we were doing some good stuff. We got mixed up in the wrong shit, and we ended up on a path into prison, which typically is a revolving door of recidivism and re-arrest. And that was my life. I was going in a circle, and I was getting stuck by alcohol and other drugs, obviously street drugs. You know, we won't mention them, but you have a similar path, and both of us, through our own paths, experienced recovery. Now, even after recovery, you and I were probably at the same place. We're scared and we're looking for answers, and that's when I got into activism, and it sounds like the same time you got into the truth movement, and we're both sitting right dead smack middle in that truth movement. Can you walk us through, because I don't know your thought process, but this is what I think I know, that you actually bought into flat earth and no space and almost every Nibiru, every crazy idea that could be possibly thrown your way, because there was a bunch of people telling you it's true. So you're just like, yeah, let's do that.
Well, I always went on the approach of leaving my mind completely open. I know nothing, trying to look at things objectively. And before we even, let me take it somewhere. Let me take control for a second. Have you, here's, I got a question before we go further, because I got some mind-blowing stuff I want to talk about. Have you personally, have you ever got to that moment where it wasn't some hokey pokey, where you found, and I know this sounds bad, where you found the light, the absolute truth within yourself. Have you ever been there?
Yeah,
Do you know what
absolutely,
I'm talking about?
absolutely. And it was after,
Have you been there?
yeah, multiple times, and each time
So,
a different effect.
okay. So for the viewers, John X Army thought all this stuff was hocus pocus, but check it out. I've researched, this is deep. This is going to get eerie for a minute. I've researched that a certain secret society, we're not even going to point them out, they have a way to get people's minds to open and get that light of truth, and it's an evil way. A certain secret society has a way to open people's mind. They consider it enlightening them. Also, there's another way to have a huge spiritual breakthrough, and that's through fasting and prayer. A lot of Christians do it, a lot of Catholics do it, but the problem is that what they think they're about to get, they're looking at from a program mind state. So when it happens, they have to back it up with biblical preconceptions that are in their mind that are already wrong. But then there's another way to do it. A high dose of psychedelic medicinal drugs, such as maybe, I don't know, psilocybin mushrooms, will also get you to that breaking point where your mind shatters and you see the truth. And where my channel was at before this was focusing on the evil, exposing the evil, finding out all the little secret evil things they were doing and pointing it out to the world. Well, when I took this psychedelic high dose and I had that moment, I hate to call it illumination because people think secret society. I hate to call it enlightened because people think secret society. I had this world shattering moment where I realized the truth of life, love, energy. And I realized that everything I had been doing, flat earth, the end of the world, the end of America, focusing on the chemtrails, not to say that we shouldn't. I'm not saying that if we pretend they don't exist, they'll go away. But I had completely looked at all this horrible fear-based shit that's mind control. And guess what? When I get on YouTube and I scream the end of the world's tomorrow, you're all gonna die. 300,000 views, make $1,000. And I figured out why. I figured out why it's okay to analyze all the fear-based control system. It's because not only does it keep me living in fear, but I'm spreading that fear to thousands and millions of other people. When we focus on what they're doing to us, how they're beating us, how they're controlling us, how they're programming us, that keeps that mind control system going. That keeps that fear-based system going. So when I came back from this moment of truth, when I saw what love really was and how we were really supposed to be living, kind of like Oppenheimer Ranch is living. We need to be living like Oppenheimer Ranch is living. When I saw the truth, I said, hold up, John X Army is dead. The fear-based YouTube channel is no more, because what the fuck have I done? I haven't fixed anything. Nobody's woke up and stormed the castle. All I've done is put in your mind that we're being poisoned, that we have no control, that they're destroying us, that the end of the world is tomorrow. All I've done is reinforce the mind control. So I stepped back and said, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to live my life in a positive light, and I'm going to try to share that with you. And I've realized, guess what? I don't think the earth is flat, but if it is, it doesn't matter. I don't think the world's going to end tomorrow, but if it does, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. It's all what's within you. You can focus on the evil fear-based shit, and you can live in fear and be unhappy and not even know it. Or you can focus on all the positive, and whatever happens is going to happen, but you're going to be a happy person. Sorry, I'm kind of ranting and raving. Can I go on?
Yeah, man, I'm
Let
absolutely digging it.
Okay, okay. So let me talk to you about this theory. For your viewers, I'm about to get real hokey pokey right now. What I'm about to say sounds like fictional bullshit, but anybody watching the channel who is truly woke, you're going to see the comments few on this video. About every 10, 20 comments, you're going to see a truly woke person who's going to agree with this 100%. And when you put your arms out like this and you make a cross, pretend Christ is in your heart, and your pineal gland is the seat of the soul. Your spirit, your essence is inside your mind in that pineal gland, and Christ is in your heart. When you explode your mind with a high dose of psychedelics, that Christ within you, that kingdom of heaven within you, Christ gets put up on the cross. You raise him up, and you connect the spirit of Christ with whatever we want to call it, the soul, your consciousness. The two become one, and essentially Christ is resurrected up here, and you're enlightened. You see the light, you see the truth, and the old you dies and you're reborn. That's what every religion around the world has hidden in its knowledge, that you need to connect your heart to your soul and see the truth, reach that point when you know it's all about love and life and the planet and positivity. And when you see that truth, you'll see the religions of the world are evil. You'll see that the internet is just, it's a spin-off of the cosmic consciousness linking us all together. You'll see all the new Neuralink that Elon Musk is just debuted this week. That's a spin-off, an evil spin-off of the third eye you already have in your head. All this tech shit we see, the internet, we all have a universal connection to the divine. We don't need none of this shit for it. These things are taking us further and further away from it. So when Oppenheimer Ranch hit me up today, I was ecstatic because he's really doing it. He may be on YouTube and on the computer, but this dude is out on the ranch 15 hours a day doing it. So yeah, there's my spiel. What do you think? Have you heard about the Christ consciousness? How that when you took those high doses, what you actually did was, when I asked you earlier, had you seen the light? What you technically did was connected your heart and your mind together, which resurrected you. The old you died and you were reborn in the truth, the cosmic consciousness that transcends time and space. And you have now been connected. You know that this body doesn't matter. When it dies, you know you're good. Is that how you feel?
Well, I'm gonna school you a little, and I know you'll allow me. I mean, I've been delving into
Yes.
psychedelics and Christ consciousness for decades, and it was revealed to me early on in my 20s that the teachings of Christ and that the Sermon on the Mount was specifically a connection using psychedelics, because at that point I had access to mushrooms, and I knew that when I was on mushrooms, that everything that is written in the Sermon on the Mount is exactly how I was experiencing the universe at that moment, where the ego dies completely, and all of the nonsense that you've been indoctrinated into your entire life melts away. And for some people that could scare them, and they could completely be not prepared for that. But for others that are ready, it's intriguing, and we go deeper, and we look up into the universe, and we can see our connected nature. Not only that, we can see how almost all of the actions we've done our entire life are futile and useless. Almost all of the jobs we ever had, almost all of the things we've ever bought. We can see that Gmail, email, cell phones, Facebook and Twitter and selfies, how pathetic and what a waste of a beautiful life that consists of this entire universe and the planet we live on, and we're wasting it. We're absolutely wasting it. We're worried and we're fearful about tomorrow, and we're worried about what we did in the past. No one cares about what they're doing right now. I don't know why, because now is the only time you're ever alive. You and I know that because we're actually alive. And so
Yep.
you and I know that now is the only time to be nice. Now is the only time to say you're sorry.
Yeah.
Now is the only time to say, oh, I was wrong. I looked into that finally and I was wrong. And it's fine because it doesn't matter. Just like you said, it doesn't matter if the world ends tomorrow. I will be here forever. I was already here forever. I have seen that time and time again. Each time I take another spirit dose, I gain more information, and it becomes even clearer, which allows me to continue to be a prick on YouTube because I'm trying to spark people and pop them out of their insanity. The brainwashing is so thick that it's almost like it takes an event. For me, right around 2012, around the solstice, I was heavy meditating for several years at this point, and I went outside to look up at Jupiter or Orion or Sirius. It doesn't matter. I was just connecting with the universe, and I had a download of information. It was amazing. It wasn't psychedelic at all. I was completely sober. But all of a sudden, all the work I had done, all the spiritual work, all the praying, all the meditating, it was as if all of the blocks, the mental blocks, were freed. And it was like tapping into my soul. And when you describe the cross and the Christ consciousness in the heart, these are more modern concepts. And I think, John, that these teachings have been around probably for 10, 20, 30, maybe 50,000 years since Cro-Magnon finally walked on Earth. And I believe that this information has been hidden, and that the powers that be that hide the information, that are sickened by this evil source, they know what's going on. There you go. All you.
This statue, Archangel Michael, has been around my family for a long time, and only this month do I understand it. It's got twin serpents going up the caduceus staff, which represent the Kundalini energy rising. It's got the halo of enlightenment, which represents when you finally get that energy and you connect. It has been hidden for so long in every holy teaching on the planet, and I just got it. And let me tell you, this is what hurt me. This is why I went insane on YouTube and shook all my subscribers out, is because when I got there to that place, I saw the lies and the evil in all the mainstream religion. And when I came back and told people about it, they told me I was possessed with demons and that now I'm going to burn in hell. I connected to the only truth of the universe, and I know, but before I was born, I know after I'm dead, I know the only truth. It was not some evil satanic demon. It was love, light. It was the truth of everything. And I got back and they called me evil for it, that it's some satanic doctrine. Like, no, hold on. You've all been so programmed by religion. Like, it's impossible for some people to wake up. And it's so sad because human beings, we are so special, and they have programmed it out of people so they don't know how special we are. We've been, like you mentioned it a minute ago, we've been searching the stars. They've had us waiting and staring at the stars. I don't know what's out there, but what's awesome is in here. And they've had us looking everywhere, but in here and in here. And this is, you guys, I'm not talking about sitting around and getting high and make believing that you just connected to the universe. I'm talking about the light in the room changing, like an angel just landed on your shoulder and your eyes being wide and you're able to see a clarity. Anything you think of, you know the truth. If I want to think Christians, I know the truth. Judaism, I know the truth. The government, I know the truth. War, I know. It doesn't matter. Whatever you put your focus on when you're in that state, the universe gives you the truth, whether you like it or not. And see, as I went through this process, it was freaking scary at points. And exactly what you just said a minute ago, I got, at one point, I saw a black lizard panther on my wall that wouldn't communicate with me and scared the freaking shit out of me. So most people would stop. It's a demonic entity. You've opened an evil door. You know what I think it was at this point? I think it was my fucking huge, nasty ego that I had to kill and confront that horrible nature that's inside me. And once I was able to overcome the horrible, demonic, ugly parts of me, I broke through and I got the light of truth, the universal knowledge. And most people get to the scary part and they perceive it as some outside demonic force, and it's not. It's coming from in their self.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I'm pumped.
Yeah, this is amazing. And what's amazing about this, John, is that your experience is the same as tens of thousands of others that have been in this state. And this state is where, now I'm going to blow your mind, the mushroom cult comes from the Gnostics, which were the original Christians. So the original Christ consciousness teaching was from a mushroom cult, the people that actually knew how to tap in to that consciousness. And that was hidden from the church because we can't have these humans actually becoming God. They can't actually realize that they have God inside them. How could we control them if they knew the truth? So we have to demonize the mushroom. We have to demonize the cannabis. It's the devil's weed. That's where reefer madness and all of the hatred towards these psychoactive drugs come from. Now, I'm totally anti-heroin, anti-crack, anti-cocaine, anti-meth. Those are not spiritual drugs. Those are manufactured drugs that are addictive to make money. The psilocybin mushrooms, there are over 80 species that are psychoactive, is one of the safest plants on Earth. You could eat 5 pounds of them and you won't die. God knows where you'll go, and you might not be back for a while. But it's the safest therapeutic drug, and I believe it is the key to healing humanity. What say you?
Yeah. Two things. The first one is, once I did, guess what? Since I've woke up now, I'm not buying their shit no more. I don't want their tech. I don't want their TV dinners. I don't want the GMO foods. I don't want none of their bullshit no more. And that's why they can't have humanity woke, because we won't buy their shit. But what you just said about healing, sorry, this is my favorite part. It took me 2 months to realize what had happened. So I took that high dose of psilocybin. For the next 5 days, I shit and puked my guts out. I thought I was going to die. I'm drinking Gatorade by the gallons to make sure I don't dehydrate. Every day I'm on the verge of going to the ER. I thought I was going to die. And the only thing I could think is maybe there was salmonella on my mushrooms. This is what happened. When I opened my soul and my mind and that light of truth hit me, dude, it had to flush out the death. So like I sat in that toilet and who knows what it was. Was it cancer 5 years from now that my soul light just cleansed from my body? Dude, I'm telling you that those mushrooms flushed something out of me that was going, some dark disease I didn't even know was brewing in my body. I'm telling you that looking back at it, that's what happened. That light of truth hit me, that cosmic connection, and it flushed the sickness out of my body that I didn't even know was there. That's how I'm remembering it. That's what I believe at this point.
Isn't it amazing how now, when you're in this enlightened state, when you go look at these products, how you just can shake your head and be like, it would be okay to have one of those, but I will not. And you also see the truth of
Yeah.
like the Google Voice and all of the videos up here and all the cameras, and you can see what they're doing, and it just makes you sick and it's skeevy. And then you go into those aisles and with those TV dinners, and you're like, I know what's in there. I'll make a baked potato. I do not need that.
Yeah. Dude, mycelium is the internet. They took that, they, from their enlightenment, they understood, just like the way mycelium operates, it's a connection everywhere. They took that and they built it in the physical form. It's an evil knockoff of truth. The same thing like I was saying with the Neuralink that's coming. Hey, instead of using your pineal gland in your mind to connect to the cosmos, buy our freaking chip. We'll plug it in right here. You can look at your phone and control it. And you know what? We'll leak some programs that when you download them, you get a good feeling. You won't need mushrooms or a higher state of consciousness, because we're going to give you this chip. It's evil. And they've, everything that I've got from that enlightened state, I have came back here and looked at all the tech bullshit they've sold me, and it's cheap knockoffs of my spiritual connection to the cosmos. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, man, I can't agree more. I wish I could show you around here. I live in a dirt barn and I shit in a bucket. And I can afford to do
Oh,
much.
I'm sure it's wonderful.
I could do much greater things, but this is what makes me happy, and this is my path. This is my path to finishing a ranch that I built myself from the ground up with the help of Leah, my partner. We didn't ask, we asked each other. We didn't ask anyone else's help. We did our own research. It's a process of growing and unhooking from the clutches of the brainwashing that we were stuck in. It's impossible for many people. Almost like 90% of the population are stuck because they're working check to check. But I guarantee the moment that you have the Christ consciousness, the enlightenment, you see the light, the truth, the death of the ego, you the next day will believe that you can walk away from it. I guarantee it. You will leave your job and walk out of that
Yeah.
city into the country, and the first town that you think is pretty and safe, you'll find a job, and then you'll find an apartment and a house, and your life will be completely different, and it will be filled with joy and love and intention, because you'll be walking on a path God-given from your soul, not one that's programmed from the poison society that we live in. It's a slave model, and we're indentured servants until we can escape, like you and I have.
Yeah. And here's also what I believe. Dude, since I've been there, what happens at death to the people who never connected while they were alive? Dude, are we being recycled back into physical bodies every time we don't make the connection? Like now, since I made the connection, if I walk a life based on that knowledge I have now, by eating healthy, by being a good person, by not being a shill, by not pushing fear porn, if I get all these ugly qualities out of my life, I think at my death, I think I'm done with the physical at this point. I think I will be on some, and this isn't ego talking. I think it's the point of existence. It's the point that spiritual connection is so freaking important. And I haven't done a night star stream. I done one and I didn't even look at it. Listen, I've been pointing everybody up to stare at the stars, which is cool, don't get me wrong, but the truth is in here. Like my whole life's changed. You know what I mean? How can I, like, and I've told people, listen, I don't care if the world ends. Like, dude, I know the truth. Like if your religion, oh, wait, sorry, let me back up. When you were talking, I wanted to touch this point. Let me tell you the hardest part of waking up. As I came down from that spiritual connection, the whole time it made me think about Christianity in the back of my mind. It was so hard to let go because oh my God, if I'm wrong, I'm going to burn in hell. Dude, the fear programming with mainstream religion is so bad that I was terrified to wake up for the past 2 months. It's been 4 months since this happened to me. It took me 2 months to break away. I'm terrified, and more people in my group telling me, John, this is evil. It might have been the third eye. It was the pineal gland. Satan has got into your head. You're full of demons. And I'm like, whoa, 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 dude. Like, yo, God, creation, our inner light is love. There's no fear. There's nobody that wants to hurt you. That's gonna, dude. The light of creation, whatever you want to call it, the cosmic consciousness, it would never hurt you. Like, it's teaching me to love everything. Even, dude, when I first came back from that place, as I was mowing my yard, I wondered if it was wrong to cut my grass, man. Like, I wondered, is this bad karma to be cutting this grass right now? And the Christians are telling me that God's going to kill me. And I'm like, dude, God loves everybody. It's like, dude, they've never felt pure love. It's just, I feel so bad that people can't
God
let
would have,
go of bullshit.
God would have never wanted grass. So grass is satanic. So that's why you're confused. Grass isn't even something we're supposed to have. It grows natural in meadows. You don't plant it in your front yard.
Yeah.
And so we actually are changing God's design on Earth by planting lawns and adding chemicals and poisons. The planet doesn't like that. And in many of my hero journeys into the psilocybin realms, I have been gleaned knowledge that, so before I go into one of my sessions, I write down, I do all the things you said. I fast for 24 hours. I meditate on a list of questions I want answered. And then I go in with the right intention, and everything is answered that's on the list. But what gets revealed to you more and more is that satanic mode. And a lot of the studies I've done over the last 10 years is mythological. Satan is not a human. He was never a he, and he's not part of a religion. It was our other son. So we had two different sons in our past, and Saturn was one son, and the son we now have is the other son. And when Saturn moved away, Shamash became Satan, and Satan is Saturn, and Saturnalia is Saturday, and it used to be Christmas. But on Saturnalia, you were allowed to break any law on Earth. You were allowed to rape, murder, and kill. There were no laws, and it was finally outlawed just a few hundred years ago. You could even rape your own children, and you would not be held accountable on Saturnalia, which is where Satan came from. Satan is not a man. Satan is our society that the kings and the oligarchs allowed once a year for you to murder all the people you hated and to rape all the young girls you ever pined over. Absolutely disgusting the way our society is. And it is those very oligarchic assholes, the banksters, the top politicians, that are raping children today. Look at Epstein. I mean, he basically runs Hollywood. This is a billionaire that has been raping children for decades.
You want to talk about something breaking news today? The little girl, they were looking for her bones in the Vatican. The news broke a few hours ago. It's just came out. They found thousands of children's remains under the Vatican today. Today. I got the article in my private group.
Is that surprising,
today.
John? Is that surprising?
No, not at all. Not at all. And they've hidden. Listen, dude, humanity, we are so freaking beautiful. Like, when we're woke, and I'm going to keep pointing at the third eye because to me, it felt like I was seeing through a brand new vision. Some people like to call it the pineal gland. Dude, when you're woke, it's just, we are aliens. We are capable of stopping time and literally knowing everything. And I don't believe that you need psychedelics to do it. Now, maybe JonExArmy who's got 2 kids and has all these obligations and responsibilities. Now, I probably needed psychedelics to do it, but I believe these yogis in India that go spend 15 years in a cave, the experience I had to take a high dose of mushrooms to get, they're doing that shit with meditation. You know what I mean? Oh, I got something. Dude, I'm so pumped talking to you right now. So check this out. Let's talk about frequency real quick. So doing shrooms day after day after day after day, in this awakening process 4 months ago, I was listening to a certain frequency, whatever one, it doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm playing, we'll just say 432 hertz. All right. Just, I don't even remember which one it was. Every time I did them, I played the same frequency. And as I'm laying in my bed, kind of in that meditative state, and I can see it almost looks like sigils coming down in front of my face. I started to realize I was getting the same visuals every single day. So I thought, oh my God, I've worn the mushrooms out. I figured out the mushrooms. I see the program. I'm getting the same visuals every day. And then I kept trying to figure it out. Did I like figure out the mushrooms? They're not working anymore. I understand what's happening. No, it was the frequency I had on the headphones. So get this, I'm going to blow your mind. You can see frequency. If you listen to 432 hertz, it has a distinct visual compared to 953 hertz. I literally had been using the same frequency every day in a row, and that's why I thought that it was the same visuals. Dude, at a certain point, you can see frequencies, and it's repeatable week to week, day to day. If you play this frequency, I've got a map of the sigils or the symbols. So here's what I believe was happening. I believe I was syncing both sides of my brain to the frequency coming through the headphones, and it was literally my aura creating the visuals of the frequency. Dude, is this too out there for the audience? Nobody's going to get this. You probably get what I'm saying.
No, I get it, and 5% will get it because we're right there with you.
Yeah. So my next question is, I started literally testing different frequencies. And when I would have a breakthrough on a frequency, check this out. The different frequencies give me a different type of knowledge if I have a breakthrough. So like just taking shrooms and fucking tripping is not a breakthrough. Like it takes an ego death, it takes humbling yourself and getting in the right state of mind. No matter how hard you're tripping, dude, once you have an ego death and humble yourself, then normally you get a breakthrough, and that's when you have one of these moments where the room will change like there's an angel in here. But the truth is, I've got the Christ consciousness, and I'm working on my soul. Now, when I'm in that state of mind, I'm pretty sure I could manifest anything I wanted. But by the time you get to that state of mind, the last thing you're thinking about is any material bullshit. Like I'm trying to figure out, how can I be a better person and live this way? How meditate, diet, like it's completely just, it's mind blowing. And I'm telling you, the different frequencies cause different breakthroughs. Try it next time. The breakthroughs will take you to different places that's repeatable with the same frequencies.
Well, what I do is I go to different frequencies in nature. I go to these monolithic, very important places on Earth, and each one's different. So when I went to Chimney Rock, it's different than the Grand Canyon, is different than Bryce, because the gravity and the harmonics are different. So you can access the same different frequencies by changing your position or latitude and longitude on the planet. Not only that, you've got vortexes, right? You've got places in Sedona that you can have these experiences on a vortex. And so, and each one of them for me is a different experience and a different learning experience.
So I'm doing the cheap knockoff. I'm doing their internet frequencies. when I need to be doing the planets. Oh my God. So if I'm having breakthroughs on the bullshit frequencies, imagine if I went to the powerful places on the planet and had breakthroughs.
Right. Well, Rex
Dude,
Bear
you
and
just
I
blew my
you
mind.
go right to the petroglyphs. You go where the native ones were doing the medicine. So you go to Newspaper Rock and places they were teaching on the psilocybin, and you can actually tap into them. You can see the spirit walkers. You can interact with natives while you're at these places because they manifest through you in front of you like your ego. And I want to bring up that ego again. Rex and I actually tried to film after 1 hour and 20 minutes in. So you get up to the 45-minute peak, and then if you're on a hero dose, at about an hour is the beginning of the death of the ego, and that could continue for 7 or 8 hours, depending on how you deal with it. But once you're at that point, you can no longer film. It's impossible because filming the event is egotistical to begin with. You cannot film a mushroom event if you are on the mushrooms. You would have to have a cameraman there. And then I even did have a cameraman there in case that happened, and I wouldn't allow him to film because I said no one is allowed to know this information but me.
Dude, it is amazing you brought that up because some of my people, I'll just say it. I'm not shilling right here, guys. Some of my Patreons, who are my close knit group, who's been around since day one, were like, dude, film when you have that breakthrough, whether it's through meditation or however you get there, film the knowledge and put it on one of the Patreon tiers. And I literally today in a stream, I told them, you guys, I don't think I'll be able to have a breakthrough if I'm filming. Do you see what I'm saying? If I got the camera on me, dude, I don't think I'll get a breakthrough and a download of information.
So the
Dude, we just
mushrooms
talked about that
actually
today.
tell you at that point when you're going to have a breakthrough and it's about to happen, they say, no, you cannot film. And it was so overwhelming. I had all this equipment. I had backup camera people that were completely sober, and I refused. You have to leave. If you're going to film this, you have to leave. I was so adamant about it. And then at the end, they were like, yo, why did you bring us all here? And then didn't allow us to film. And it was as simple as because the only people worthy of this information are the ones that are experiencing it. We cannot explain to the person that did not experience it what it is we learned, because you and I learned the same thing, John, and tens of thousands of other people, other shamans, other spirit healers, medicine men, everyone that has walked this path. We all learn the same thing. The ego is very disgusting and dangerous, that most of our lives have been disgusting, horrible, hateful people, and that it's not over. We have a chance to change all that. And the reason is because we're only alive now. And so from this moment forward, you can be a great person. You can help the old lady across the road, not because you're a prick and you want everyone to look at you, but because you want to help the old lady. I mean, that's really why we're here. It's love and light and onward and upward, and helping each other understand our position in why we're here. And I'm just so glad that you are woke and we're having this conversation, because it's like we're reinforcing what we already know. And we want to continue to reinforce this with other people. Yeah. They cannot get where we are unless, as the Dalai Lama said, they meditate for decades. They seek for that enlightenment, and they become the change that they want to see. That's the Dalai Lama. Be the change you want to see in the world. He saw that through meditation. We saw that through psychoactive mushrooms, but it's the same message.
Yeah, it is. And people thought I went Hindu because I'm so much into these yogis right now. But dude, everything they freaking say is exactly what I got when I was there, bro. Everything they say, dude, it lines up exactly.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that when you have the
Um,
experience that you and I did, that you realize that there is only one spirituality, and that religion is
yeah,
more is has nothing to do with spirituality. It has to do with control and lies. Religions are books created by
yeah,
men to bastardize the information you and I were given. This information you and I were given should be available to every human. Now we're using less than 30% of our
yeah.
brains. Our pineal glands have been calcified due to toxins purposefully put into our food supply, but there's a way out. You can clarify your pineal gland, you can cleanse yourself. Mushrooms cleanse the body. So that thing you experience, many others experience that type of purging after a hero dose. And that
Mhm.
and you actually are throwing up your terrible self. It's amazing. And you heal.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes weeks after the dose to sometimes understand what you saw in a few seconds and what it actually means.
Yeah, and every day that gets further away from that 4 month point, I'm understanding it now. And see, here's dude, I tried to explain to people on YouTube that was a mistake. Everybody's like, this dude lost his freaking mind. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell them about my enlightenment. And like, dude, people just, not only can you, like you said, not only can you not explain it, but they haven't done it. It's hokey pokey to them. You know what I'm saying? Dude, what?
There's
Go
good
ahead. What were you
news.
gonna say?
Yeah, there's good news. Psilocybin has just been decriminalized in Oregon, in California, Washington State, Denver, the city of, which means that they may even be petitioning to be selling these mushrooms in the dispensaries. Oh, we in Colorado over here in Pagosa, we have ketamine clinics. Now, these clinics, another amazing natural psychoactive drug, they're finding that this ketamine drip can end suicidal tendencies, suicidal ideations, people that have depression or clinical depression. You take one dose of ketamine with a doctor, and you have a brand new life, a new lease on life. And then can you imagine if you went to a ketamine clinic and then the next week you went to the psilocybin clinic? You would quit your job, move out of the city you live in, and start a farm. I guarantee it. Either that or you'd become like a nature tour guide or anything else that could help the planet and save humanity. It's that simple. If you want to wake up and stop being pissed off, sick of your job, working check to check, worrying about this and that and the other and this neighbor and that neighbor and why is this guy driving so fast? You can get a grip and realize that this guy's driving slow and I don't care. That just gives me another 20 minutes in the car. That's it.
Yeah.
It's that
Oh,
simple.
listen, we we are moving into a future, hopefully, where, dude, can you imagine if everybody was woke? How beautiful life would be on the planet. We'd have technology and wouldn't even use it. We wouldn't even use it. We'd have it. Dude, I hope that's the future. I hope in the future we got amazing technology, but everybody's outside enjoying the world and we don't even use our tech. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's my plan, and that's
What do
what
you
we're
think?
go.
Do you think we're moving into an awesome future, or do you think things are going to get rough? What do you think?
Well, the problem is, as a geologist and a
The world as a whole.
yeah, as a geologist and a paleoclimatologist, we're entering a very dangerous point in Earth's history. We're experiencing a magnetic excursion. The last time this happened, the shit hit the fan, the climate went wacky. We lost 65% of the mammals in North America, and this could be due to plasma events or lightning from space. But when these magnetic excursions occur, humanity we will shrink. The whole society system should fail because every 2,000 years, all societies crumble and there's unrest, like the end of the Roman period, the Minoan period, and so on. We're about to experience the next 2,000-year cycle. Remember Christ 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire at the peak, and it fell by 500 AD. Same thing where we are, 2000 AD. By 2500, there should be no society anywhere. We'll be back to hunters and gatherers, and hopefully, based on the yuga cycles and the other mythological and spiritual teachings that I've researched, the cosmology causes our brains to enlighten. So the reason that we're only using 30% of our brain and we're able to be controlled by a small group of bankers is because we're in the wrong
We're in the dark
realm.
ages.
Yeah, so we're going to raise up into a different yuga and probably all become more enlightened easily through meditation and psychoactive drugs. There's no reason you shouldn't eat a mushroom. If you have access to them, I implore you, eat them. Go ahead.
Yeah. The earth is hopefully about to enter a golden age to where if you pick a piece of fruit off the tree and sit down, by the time you take a bite, you've had an enlightening experience. Like, oh my God, this planet's so beautiful. That's what you're talking about, moving into another cosmic realm to where, dude, you sit down on a bench and look at the clouds and just you reach enlightenment. Could you imagine that if right now everybody on the planet had seen the truth like you and I had, dude, I honestly believe that we would be able, just having our vibration high would be like an invisible energy field around the planet. Nothing would hurt. Dude, I think we could power we wouldn't even need a sun, bro. If we would all be woke, the vibration of the planet would be so high that we'd have an invisible force field around the planet. Nothing would be able to penetrate the atmosphere, and we wouldn't even need a sun, bro. Do you think if the whole planet got enlightened, we'd be able to, Earth would be a spaceship, man, like a real one that we could, hey, let's shoot off to that galaxy and get there instantly through hyperspace. I'm telling you, man, the power they have suppressed in the human brain, that's why they're so evil. That's why religion, I came back from that place and religion was evil to me. Everybody preaching gospel in my groups, I was like, dude, this is evil. This is evil. This is why we're so suppressed right now.
Yeah, I mean, John, I can't agree with you more. I think that this has been an amazing conversation. Is there any other topic, because we're almost at an hour, that we should hit before we call it a night? And I don't want to call it a night forever. I want to make this an ongoing thing where we pick a topic and every week.
I'm coming out to the ranch, brother.
All right, no problem.
I'm coming out to the ranch. Yeah. Dude, I'm trying to go to Newspaper Rock or something and do a vlog with my YouTube camera. Dude, I'll get my parents to babysit my kids for 3 or 4 days and shoot out there and do a vlog with you, man.
Well, Rex
dude, I think...
Listen, Rex Bear and I are planning a trip in mid-August to go out there. It's only an hour away from here. You could stay here. We could shoot out, do a bunch of shows, then you can come right home. So let's stay in touch and let's keep that open. Mid-August for 3 days, we go out to Newspaper Rock. Maybe we go out to Moab, Horseshoe Canyon. These are some of the oldest barrier-style petroglyphs in the world and some of the most ominous. And I think that a lot will be revealed. So just keep that open and let's roll with that. What would be your closing words? Yeah. And I want to say thanks for coming on the show. And can we wrap it up? Wrap it up in a little piece about your experience and what you want the audience to get from this podcast.
Yeah, I just want everybody to know that if you focus on the negative, the world's going to be negative and horrible. But if you find the positive and the love and everything and the beauty of this world, the world's going to be beautiful. The world is whatever you focus your attention on, that's what you get. Like, it doesn't have to be on conspiracies and the end of the world. It could be on something positive and wonderful, and guess what? Your whole life's going to be positive and wonderful. No matter what happens, good or bad.
No matter what, you heard
That's
it
good.
here first.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate you too, John. And you're looking at JonExArmy, and the new John, the higher vibrating John, the woke John, and maybe it's just woke John, but it doesn't matter what it is because we'll still watch. Yeah. And all the people that hate are going to be haters. They're scared of the information that we have. They're scared of it, and they probably wouldn't do well with it anyway. So there's only certain people that are ready to have this information. You are clearly ready. I want to thank you for coming on the show. Check out John's YouTube. I'll link it below. It's not JonExArmy anymore, but it'll say that, and click the YouTube. I'll link you to his Twitter, his Instagram, and all the other shit that makes John famous. He's shifting. He's made the shift. He's woke, and he did it using the magic of the ancient mushrooms that the shamans have been telling you need to eat. John, we love you, and we'll talk to you next week about a new topic. Be safe. Peace.